Hello, Greg from Balloon Market here, and welcome to BMTV. And as you can see, we are joined once again by the wonderful, the one and only Sue Bowler. Sue, hello.
Hello.
Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Right, today, Sue, we're going to talk a little bit less about balloons and more about adding value to balloons, aren't we?
Absolutely.
So over to you, Sue. Tell us what you're going to do.
Okay, so I'm going to start off by showing you how to work with the 4-inch micro hearts, the little hearts, and what we can do with them and how we can make a really good sail out of these.
Okay.
So I think we'd start off with just learning how to inflate them and heat seal them.
Okay.
So these don't come pre-inflated, so we are going to need a heat sealer, and this is absolutely perfect for the job. First thing you need to know about the heat sealer is that it's an impulse heater. It wasn't designed for balloons per se, so we need to be careful about what temperature we put it on. At the side here, we have a temperature gauge, which is numbered, and I like to put mine on around about 3.5.
Okay.
What basically happens is when we put the arm down and press, the light comes on, goes off almost instantly, just that really short blast of heat. But what we need to know is that a foil balloon is not actually made from foil. It's actually made from a nylon composition, so that when we heat seal it, we're trying to bond that nylon together to make sure it sticks.
Okay.
So I'll just show you and then we'll go from there.
All right.
I like to use a little pocket pump when I'm working with the little hearts, because the chances are you don't want to overinflate it and pop it, but you do want it to be nice and full. So I'm going to inflate the balloon, get it nice and tight as I can without popping it. Push the air up into the balloon and sort of change your fingers around so the neck is nice and flat. That's really, really important. I'm going to rest the neck of the foil underneath the arm. I'm going to place that down. The light's been on and off, but I'm going to hold the arm down for a further 5 to 10 seconds. And from that point, it will actually really seal it nice and tight. Some people like to put several seals in.
Yeah, I've seen that. Some
people like to slide it through. I know that some people heat seal it right at the top. Now, the problem with that, I find, is that it's very easy to put a crease into the foil at that point. And if you do that, the air will just escape straight through it. So do it low. If you don't get it right the first time, you can cut it. You can do it again. So that way, you're not ever going to waste a foil.
We heat sealed one of these literally years ago, and I think we finally burst it. It didn't go down at all.
They don't.
4 years later, I think we decided, we were tidying up and decided to, I think we got rid of it. It might even still be around somewhere, but yeah, they just stay looking like that.
Absolutely, so they're everlasting. Yeah, and so these are a really lovely add-on to maybe a bouquet as an extra thing. You can personalise these even just with a little bit of sort of like a name, or if it's a baby, the baby's name or the birth date. And I'm going to show you some exciting things to do with it.
I think it's key, actually. What you're talking about is adding value, and I think there's a lot of people out there at the moment that are feeling, with the likes of Morrison's and other high street retailers starting to do balloons, that they feel, well, I can't compete. This is exactly the sort of stuff that people can do to compete.
And the great thing about something like this is that you can be doing it now and it's going to last and last and last. And you can put it on display on your shops. You can, you can have it as on your, on your website that you have these to offer. You can add them as an extra into your design. So and you can just start inflating them. I mean, you could prepare for Valentine's Day already for next
year.
Right
now, exactly.
Which, maybe not, but you know what I'm saying. So the first thing we want to do is add it to a cup.
Okay.
So I've just got these little cello cups here, nice and easy to use. What I like to do is push the air into the balloon and give it a twist.
Okay.
So that gives us a really nice point to put into the cup. And then I'm going to pull that in as tight as I can. Then I'm going to continue to twist that neck so I can then wrap it round and pull it all the way in. And then I'm just going to tuck it as neatly as I can, like so. Okay. And then we can simply add that to a stick. So we've got our cup and stick. And that is something that we could sell like that, but we don't want to do that.
No, you could sell it like that if you really wanted to.
If you wanted to, but let's take it one step further.
That's not very Sue Bowler, to be honest.
It really, really isn't. No. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do something with the stick. Now, you've seen me do this before, but, we're going to do this again. We're just going to decorate the stick, and I'm just going to take a couple little glue dots that I've got here. You could use a bit of tape. I'm just going to position that at the top like so. Remove the backing. Now I actually want to cut the stick down a little bit.
Okay.
I actually think it's a little bit long for the design that I'm, for the vase I'm going to use. So I'm just going to take those down and cut off around about 2 to 3 inches.
With some very bling scissors.
Oh yeah,
Look at those bling scissors.
I was doing some tidying the other day, which has perished the thought, and found them and thought, oh, I need to use those.
I like those a lot.
So this is an opportunity for us to use nice metallic holographic ribbon.
Yeah.
And which is very pretty. And just by connecting it to there, I can just add a nice bit of detail.
I mean, if you are preparing for Valentine's Day, say, this is the sort of thing that you can do sat in front of the TV and just do 100 of these.
We all have our quieter moments. And yeah, you can start prepping these, and quite honestly, if you have these available, they'll sell.
Yeah.
Because there's always an occasion, we've got, this week alone, we've got International Women's Day, which, although we don't celebrate it quite as readily as they do in other countries, it's becoming more recognised. Yeah. You've got, obviously got Mother's Day coming up very soon. You've got Easter. There are so many occasions that we can be selling little, hearts on sticks.
And even if you own a little gift shop, a little card shop, the sort of thing that if you put it there like that, people would probably pick them up anyway because it's somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
So,
they really are very, very pretty. But we're not going to finish it there, of course.
Not.
So we're going to add a little bit of detail to this. So I'm going to take a ribbon and I'm going to make a bow. Let's just use this one here.
What ribbon fell on the floor?
Oh, it's just a different multicoloured one, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to use a decent length because I don't want to make the bow too small. And I'm going to just show you a little technique that I actually learned on YouTube. And I'm going to be 100% honest, it took me several attempts doing it daily before I remembered how to do it. Yeah. So it's not something that you'll see once and be able to do, but it's definitely practice makes perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you rest the ribbon over your 2 fingers with your thumb, hold it there, and you just open those 2 fingers and you're going to wrap it round in a figure of 8. You're going to bring it back round, and then you're going to take it over your thumb. Actually, no, I've done that wrong. See,
even Sue Bowler gets it wrong every now and then.
Well, you know what it is? It's when you do it automatically, it's actually very easy. But when you're actually talking and you're trying to remember what to do, it's a little bit difficult. So let's get back to where we were. Take it over your thumb, and then you're going to pull that end back through the loop that you've created with your thumb.
That looks very complex to me.
And
I think I would definitely struggle with something like that.
It's really not that complicated, but you just got to remember what you're doing, and then don't do it as tightly as I have. But look, you end up with a perfect little bow every single time.
Yeah.
And if you've got a thinner ribbon, you can actually do it more than twice. So where I just went twice round, you can actually do 3 or 4 times, and you'll get 3 or 4 loops. So we can take that.
So you can do different sizes. So if you were to spread your fingers further apart, then you'd
you
have a
can
slightly
buy
bigger one.
tools that actually have that already built in, but your fingers are always going to be there. So
you could do a sliding size. You know the sliding size. You could use that quite close together.
Yeah, I haven't tried.
Well, there you go.
You've got a great imagination.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I'm not going to do this because I'm going to do something else with this balloon, but you can just secure that at the base. Okay. And you've got some there. So you can have a look at different ideas.
This is one I made.
Yeah, right. And what about, there's different. So this is satin ribbon. Then if you get one that's like an organza ribbon.
Oh, yeah.
So different texture. And that was the one that I dropped on the floor. And that's a multiple loop one.
Yeah.
So you can see you get some really pretty ideas. Yeah?
Love it.
Okay, so we're going to use this bow in a moment. We'll come back to that one. So I'm going to show you something else that you can do to add value to this. And I'm going to use some floral cellophane. Great product. I love cellophane because it's just adds a little sheen to gift wrapping and stuff like that. So I'm just going to take a length of this and I'm going to make myself a little bit of a cellophane bag. So I don't need it to be too long. I'm going to put the balloon inside, but I don't need it to cover the whole length. Now, the reason I sort of learnt about doing this was when I was actually in Japan some years ago, and I went into a balloon shop and discovered that they gift wrap absolutely everything that they sell.
Really?
Absolutely, including a 5-inch latex balloon on a cup and stick.
Wow. Okay.
And it looks so effective and just really made it stand out. I thought, you know, we are missing out here. We should be doing things like this. So hence the reason I'm doing this. So I'm just going to cut myself a piece of cellophane.
So I see cellophane. We sell the bigger stuff. And
Yeah,
I just think put that on a hamper or something. And that's as far as my imagination will
well,
take it.
You really can do an awful lot with it. Now I'm going to just use my balloon just to give me a little template here. So I know approximately how wide. Give yourself a little bit of space. We can always trim it down. There we go. So we've just cut that. Now, I don't suppose many people consider that they can actually use their heat sealers to heat seal the cellophane. So we're actually going to use it on the same sitting, no problem. And I'm just going to put that along the edge. We can trim this up afterwards anyway. Put the arm down, press it down, hold it there just for a few seconds, and then release the arm. And now that's got a heat seal on it.
We use our heat sealer occasionally. We have bags of balloons, plastic bags of balloons,
and you
that
can
haven't
reseal
sealed
them.
properly. Just reseal them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or if you open up a bubble balloon and you don't use it, you can actually use it again for that.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
So I'm just going to trim the edges off a little bit because I don't want it to be too obvious. You can buy bags, like little sweet bags that will do the job. You know, it's entirely up to you. Cellophane is, when you're using a little bit like this, it's very inexpensive.
Yeah.
These are the sort of bags that I've got, and they're sort of a bit more gusseted. But, you know, you'll see that there's a, you know, not a huge amount of difference. So I'm just going to slide my balloon inside. There we go. Like so. And we can, at that point, we can add a little extra bits like maybe some confetti.
Yeah.
Just to add a little bit of value again, just a little bit of interest. This is It's a Boy confetti. And
So each of these aspects that you're talking about, it is literally pennies, isn't it?
oh, literally. It's just really very little money. So all I'm going to do now is I'm not going to put the balloon right to the top. I'm just going to allow a little bit of space. And then I'm just going to gently pleat it in from the sides. And then I can pull it back down a bit. Let's try a little bit lower again. That sort of shot up a bit higher than I expected. And there's my glue dot. Here we go, that's better. That's it. So you can see, you can just bring that in. That can just be shaking around there. And then I'm just going to take a nice little bit of ribbon that I've got here. Again, this is just a little satin ribbon that I'm just going to tie around like so. Pull that in nice and tight. You know, these make lovely little favours for weddings even.
Yeah.
You know, you can give these on the table or for the children, or a little thank you with little messages on it. Just going to trim that off. Trim that one off, and then I'm just going to make that little bow. Take that little bow that I made earlier. Take my little dot, and I'm just going to secure that in position, just to complete the design. And I like to just trim my ribbons so they're a little bit of an angle. And we've now got
That's great.
a beautiful little gift.
So that is literally pence. That whole thing is I don't know how many, I can't remember how much those balloons cost, but it's not a lot.
No.
Probably looking at 30 pence maximum, 40 pence, something like that.
I would say.
Something like that.
Yep.
But what would you sell that in a shop? I'm thinking, without knowing what they would sell for, I'm thinking $1.99 would be a bargain.
I think $1.99 would be a bargain. I think you
So-
could definitely take it beyond that.
Yeah. So imagine $2.99, but it costs 40p
Yeah.
and a little bit of your time.
And
I mean, once you do a lot of them as well, if you're batch processing, as they call it, then you could be making some serious money on something as small as this.
You know, and I think that, you know, we can use these as a little marketing tool. You know, if you want to, for example, give a customer the opportunity of like order early and you'll get something in addition to whatever they're ordering. Like for, particularly for Valentine's Day, you can say, you know, get a free everlasting heart with your order if you order by this day or you spend over this amount of money. But like I said, you know, and the other thing is, you know, I'm just showing you hearts here today. we also have stars.
Yeah.
You've got wands.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
For children, you know. So a lovely little gift that you can give, particularly for little fairy, little girls' parties.
Yeah.
You can be making up little wands that they can take home, and, really, really nice things. So, here I've got a vase of prepared balloons. Some of them I've done and some of them I haven't. And if you imagine you had something like that on your counter, some gift wrap, some just with bows, maybe you could put some stars in there, you could do really well.
And like you say, if you want to personalise them as well, you can say to somebody, oh yeah, for an extra however many pounds, you could, or dollars, depending where you're watching, or whatever your currency is, you could just keep adding and adding, and it all adds value.
So, the only limitation is your creativity.
Yeah.
It's only your imagination. What else could I do? Obviously you don't want to go so crazy, but, just adding beautiful ribbons. I think sometimes people see ribbon and think, oh, that's really expensive, but you use such a small amount, and that small amount really adds value. It's worth every penny. Yeah. And, I have a huge collection of ribbons at home, but, I'm using a small amount, and you're just really showing off, something special. But the ribbons, just the finishing touches, the little bags, a little bit of confetti in there, whatever it is, it could be rose petals, anything.
And you've got this.
Oh, yes. So this is a premium product. It's a candy bouquet weight. And as you can see, you can fill it with candy. Or, wrapped sweets. I mean, again, it's great for children.
Do you know what they call sweets in Australia, by the way? This is one for Chris Adamo. Do you know what they call them? Lollies.
Lollies.
So they could be lolly weights.
They could be lolly weights, but you can fill them with whatever you want to, depending on what you sell or what the customer wants to fill them with. And then we have the little cello cup here, and then we have a connection point here. So a candy connector, and we're going to take a little. This is a 9-inch foil. And then we can do exactly the same thing, and we can add value to this. I wasn't actually going to do too much of this. I'm just going to just show you the concept. Yeah. So I'll just pull that into position, twist it in the same way, and connect it in. So we could really decorate this up. We could put a little cluster of balloons around it. I've got some other ideas that I'm going to show you later anyway. So, but there you go. That would make a really nice little gift. So, you can have something as elegant and sweet as those, and then you can have something a little bit more sort of fun and
so once again,
funky.
It's not hugely expensive to do something like this, and it's something that can really make a difference. And as you say, you could use that as a get the sales sort of tool. It's like, well, if you spend X amount, then you get one of these for free, and including the sweets.
And the thing is we do sell what we show. So,
Absolutely.
If you do have a vase of those on display, and if you have some of these maybe positioned around the shop, then you're definitely going to sell them.
It's funny how that happens, isn't it?
But it is, because people don't, it's very hard to describe things. We're a very visual business and visual industry. So, if people haven't seen them, they don't know that they exist. So we really need to open up our minds and do some really cool stuff.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Sue, thank you so much for that. It's been lovely doing this again with you. As the guest on BMTV, you should know by now you have to give everybody the question of the week. So what is the question of the week?
Okay, so I've just showed you a great tip for adding value. So what I'd like to know from you is, what is your best tip for adding value to a design or creation?
I like that one. Thank you, Sue. So leave your comments down below on Facebook and on YouTube for that. What is your favourite tip for adding value? Right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Sue.
No, thank you.
Thank you for subscribing. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.